Hey everybody! So as you saw from the title, Rachel and George watched Suicide Squad.
Woo!
So we just got back from it, so aside from the car ride home, it's fresh in our heads. Thought about bringing the camera and just recording it there in the parking lot, but that's literally what Brad Jones does. By the way, go check out Brad Jones' Midnight Screenings. I'm sure they reviewed it yesterday, or the day before even. So, what did you think, Rach?
It was much better than Batman vs. Superman. 1. 2, it was a really fun story. 3, it's just a lot of action. You don't have to follow along to a lot of stuff.
The plot.
I feel like I could actually recall the plot of this movie, which is rare for me.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Harley
Quinn is a badass. I really like Diablo.
Diablo was a pretty good, and I remember in the trailers, particularly the second, third, fourth, I've got a lot of trailers, they kept building him up more and more in the trailers, like all the big hero moments in the trailer for Diablo.
Okay.
And even, I was like, what the fuck? And even people like Kevin Smith was like, I guess Diablo must be a big part of this movie.
Spoilers, he was.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, spoiler alert, we're probably not gonna do a full plot synopsis or anything, but yeah, we're gonna talk about all the things.
We'll definitely have to talk about Diablo and his whole,
we're gonna spoil all the stuff, so.
He had most of the theme of the movie, or a big theme.
Him and Harley, and Deadshot.
Yeah,
Floyd.
I guess.
Those three, a little bit. But yeah, that's the best thing I can say about the movie. Is it's not just a stupid nothing movie. It's got a lot to say, and unlike something like Batman vs Superman, which I think must have had something to say for a 3-hour movie, and lots of speechifying, I don't know what that movie's about, thematically speaking. This one didn't. It wasn't too heavy-handed. It was kind of the right balance between action and jokes, and then the actual meaning of everything.
Mm-hmm.
For a PG-13 flick, pretty hard, intense and not dumbing things down.
You can say pussy in a PG-13 movie?
Yeah, that must have been PG-13. I mean, I don't need my ticket stub, but I'm pretty sure that was PG-13. Okay. They talked about making it R-rated, and I'm sure there'll be an R-rated cut, because Deadpool. Deadpool made all the money.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, that was a dirty movie.
Warner Brothers and Fox, everybody was like, holy shit, we need to start making R-rated stuff.
Yeah.
So much so that, the extended cut of Batman vs Superman, rated R. The next Wolverine movie has been confirmed to be rated R.
Okay.
So, and I'm sure, there's plenty of moments in Suicide Squad where you can tell, they could have made it, could have used the F word there, or...
Yeah. Harley
Quinn's pretty much almost naked the whole movie anyway.
God, any chance they could get to, show them standing from her from behind, they used that, because goddamn, she is hot.
She is. Also, I don't know the actress very well. She looked familiar.
Margot Robbie.
No. The other one. I don't know her. I think her name is... I can't remember her name.
Cara Delevingne.
Yes, her. Super fucking sexy.
Really?
Yes. Now, granted, she's also mostly naked the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
But her body was CGI when she was the Enchantress.
I understand. Spoilers, even though they explained that early on. So, speaking of Harley Quinn, you said earlier she's awesome. You don't know the true origin of Harley.
No.
And that was my biggest concern going into this movie.
Did they do it right in this movie? Oh, okay.
Well, right is, like I said, they changed the origin in the comics. But regardless of all that, what did you think of her as, she's considered kind of a feminist icon. She's a hero for young girls, even though she's batshit. What did you think of her treatment? What did you think of the way she was shot? Her dressing sexy is part of the character. But
yeah, no, I get that. That was, whatever. It wasn't like they totally exploited her or anything.
Yeah.
It was all really tasteful. There was one moment where she was changing in front of them and they were all staring okay, that's a given.
But her reaction wasn't did you enjoy that, or stop looking. She was
just like, what? Yeah.
So
super innocent.
I do think that so in Suicide Squad, as fans of the video games, Arkham games, and I guess her revision in the comics know, this new Harley Quinn was same kind of story. She was a psychiatrist, teamed up with the Joker manipulated her, and in this version, he electroshocks her and kind of physically fucks with her head, and then when she jumps into the vat of acid, the Joker is going to walk away and just leave her there. But then there's a moment where the Joker's like, oh, fuck, and he decides he wants to be with her.
Yeah.
And there it is. And there are glimmers, there are hints throughout of Harley feeling well, shit, I'm in a horrible relationship.
Yeah.
But that story is what really pissed off a lot of Harley fans. Her creation in the 90s in the cartoon show. Because they took away a key component of what made Harley so awesome, which is in the original story, same thing. She was an intern, trained with the Joker, didn't fall in love with him per se, but was just fascinated by the guy.
Okay.
And he emotionally manipulated her, didn't physically torture her. She made a choice to kind of embrace chaos and be her own person. She's not acid, washed. She's just a human being who fucking... It's that... The Joker-Harley relationship in the original is the perfect... It's what an abusive relationship is. The way he treats her when he needs her, and the way he treats her all the rest of the time, and you don't know him like I know him, and that kind of stuff. It's really fucked up, but it's her choice, which is a big thing. Her choice is taken away. Also, Harley in the comics and the cartoons, originally, is a good person despite being batshit insane. Like, she was in a fight with, I want to say Batgirl, and when Harley found out Batgirl was pregnant, she stopped fighting her. Took her to the hospital and actually went to go visit her with flowers because she's Harley. Like, hey, sorry about your baby. That kind of thing. Yeah. Her and Poison Ivy's relationship in the comics, they're like best friends, and like it's like you and Holly, but if you were supervillains.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they gab about boys, and Ivy's just like, you gotta break up with the fucking Joker. But I'm not gonna go there because I know he's your man, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And in this movie, I didn't like most of the things they had her doing. Big moment in the trailer and in the movie as well, that she smashes a window at one point and steals a purse. And the guy's like, I don't know what the hell is wrong with you people. She's like, we're bad guys. Bad guys don't think they're bad guys. Now, if she'd said, what? It's cute. Or it totally matches my shoes.
Yeah.
Fine. Like, that's the thing. Harley needs to always be having fun until shit gets real. And she is. She is that character in the movie where, like, they're flying into the city. And everyone's in the window like, so we're going to go to the giant death ball? And she's like, ooh, it's pretty. Isn't it pretty? Like, so they got that part of it right. But the whole relationship between her and the Joker... rubbed me the wrong way. Which leads me to the fucking Joker, who's not in the movie very much, but wow! Is that a terrible Joker?
He's pretty bad.
And it's not Jared Leto's fault. Like, he's doing, I think, the best he can with it. His physicality is good. The way, like, his voice changes, kind of like Heath Ledger would sometimes be really high, spoken really low.
I didn't like his teeth.
The design I don't like very much, but the problem is the way the character is written. He's not funny at all. Doesn't even make an attempt to be. He's almost like he's just a fucking batshit crazy guy. And I've seen characters like that a million times over. There's a scene early on where we're meeting all of the characters in their prison cells, all the bad guys. And then we get snippets of their backstory of how they became who they were or whatever. And we see Harley's backstory, and the Joker, like, Joker and Harley became the queen and king of Gotham City, and God help you if you said anything about the queen. And then we're in this nightclub, and the Joker's doing this thing, and Harley's dancing in a cage. And this guy he's talking to is like, man, your girl is hot. You're lucky, J-Man. And it ends with the Joker blowing that dude's brains out, but I don't know why. Like, was he defending her honor?
I don't know.
Like, it doesn't...
Like, he was just trying to show that, like, he doesn't want anyone messing with his girl at all.
I guess. And that's the thing. The Joker doesn't love Harley. He's just using her because she's devoted to him. Like, that's the way it's supposed to be. Anyway,
yeah, it's all manipulation.
In my head. And I guess he cared about her. Which leads to one of my big plot holes is, like, how was he tracking her the whole time?
He had his cell phone.
Yeah, but, like, who was tracking the phone?
Maybe.
Okay.
It's possible. GPS, man.
I guess, yeah, we're in the... But so, yeah, I mean, essentially, I'm nitpicking about fanboy stuff, which, like, I didn't like this, I didn't like that. But the movie is fine. My issues with the movie as a movie, it's predictable, it's a little slow, the action's repetitive. The villain is pretty fucking rad. She's Enchantress. She's this, like, ancient god sorceress thing who's been on this planet for, like, 6,000 years. And it's a really tragic backstory because she inhabited the body of a human woman, and now that woman is, like, stuck with her forever. And they're using her, the woman, to join the team, and they make her, like, bring her out. And every time they do it, they're like, all right, June, we need Enchantress. And she's like, please don't make me do this.
Yeah.
And she's, like, physically shaking, and then she says the word Enchantress. And it fucking bums her out. It physically hurts her to have to do that every time. So that character is interesting. She creates an army of people for them to shoot, because it's that kind of movie. And in general, I hate disposable villains.
How did they make the army? That was so funny.
I don't know.
By
oh wait, yeah, that's
them.
Right.
She kissed each one.
She kissed a bunch of people, and they turned into
so stupid.
They turned into rock things.
Oh.
In general, I hate movies with disposable bad guys, with the exception of shit like Aliens or Starship Troopers. That's fine. But like the droids in the Star Wars prequels, like there's no characterization, there's no investment because they're just
army.
Essentially they're zombies. They're almost literally zombies because they were people and they've been turned into these things.
It's all just a plot move to give them more action.
Exactly.
While they're getting to the Enchantress.
And it's not engaging action because they're really easy bad guys to kill.
Yeah.
Like some of the bad guys, some of the villains in the Suicide Squad have legitimate powers. Like as she said, Diablo can control fire And spoilers, we find at the end he's actually kind of a god. Like, maybe he actually is El Diablo himself. So that dude can fucking roll. Katana has a sword that can steal your fucking soul. The rest, and then Killer Croc is this fucking giant monster thing. The other people are just humans who happen to be good at fighting. Deadshot's a Deadshot. Harley Quinn apparently knows how to do kung fu. Whatever, I'll buy that. But when the big melee fight scene happens, Harley Quinn can beat these fuckers up with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, okay, that means...
Maybe she's crazy enough to, like, just attack them with a baseball bat.
Which is cool. Like, I love the character,
Yeah.
but, like, those villains, they're really lame enemies because they can be taken down by a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Like, that moment where that sequence ends, like, this army invades. That sequence ends with Deadshot fucking killing, like, hundreds of them. It's a really cool Will Smith moment. But I'm like, of course, they're not bulletproof. He's just shooting things. Like, it's not a big deal. So, the villains got really old after a while watching them do some shit. Speaking of Will Smith, fucking the first time I heard the casting, I was like, okay, that's really good casting. I like that character. Deadshot's a really cool, relatable character. He's an assassin, but he doesn't kill women and children. He's not a good guy by any means, but, you know, the world's fucked up, and he's gonna make money, and he loves his daughter, and fine. Will Smith is great in that. And the moment I saw a trailer, I was like, Will Smith might be awesome again. It's possible.
When was he not awesome?
The last few years.
Like in what?
Tell the truth. The concussion movie that nobody saw.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Exactly. He's been in a few movies. Like he's been
but
making.
Like the movie sucks. It's not him.
Sure. But he hasn't been a chance to play an awesome character.
Okay.
And he finally got a chance this time, and he's doing all his Will Smith shit. He's got one-liners. He's got catchphrases. He takes fools out. There's a moment where Amanda Waller, who is the head government agent, Viola Davis, for all of you How to Get Away with Murder fans, she's amazing. There's a moment where they find her in her secret lab, and she's gonna leave, and she starts just fucking shooting fools. Like her underlings, blam, 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 blam. And Will Smith is like, damn, that is just a mean lady. And the good guy is like, yeah, you get used to it after a while. And he's like, look, man, I'm the bad guy, whatever. And then as Will Smith's walking out, he says to her, that was gangsta.
Yeah.
Things like that. Like, he's pretty cool throughout the movie. And it was really fun. Like, he's an engaging character. I don't quite understand the relationship between him and Harley. Like, it seems like he cares about her too much.
Yeah, I don't know. Did they share a moment earlier, like, before he was ordered to shoot her? Didn't they have, like, a talk or something?
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember what they talked about.
Well,
it seemed like at that moment they bonded.
There's that moment where she says, they're going up the stairs at one point, and Harley looks down the stairwell. It's one of those, like, holy shit, we're 400 floors up. And then it flashes back. Harley literally has a flashback to the moment Joker threw her off, or she jumped off the thing and became Harley Quinn. And when she comes back out of it, she's pointing a gun at Will Smith. I was like, hey, damn, Harley, it's me. And out of nowhere, she's like, you ever been in love? And he's like, no. And she's like, bullshit. And he's like, look, you can't kill people the way I do and sleep like a kitten at night if you believe in love. And then my favorite Harley moment in the movie, because it's it's close to the original Harley that I remember, she just kind of sadly walks away and goes, another deranged sociopath. Because every guy in her life is like the Joker, just completely broken.
Yeah.
And all Harley really wants is to have a happy life with the Joker. At one point they show, like, the Enchantress is a witch and sorceress, she can do what she wants. And she's showing all of them what their greatest ambition is. So, like, her thing is she just wants to be normal, married to Jared Leto. He shows up without the makeup on. Mm-hmm. That was fucking weird. And they have kids, and she's got her hair done up 50 style in curlers. And that's a sweet idea, but the Harley I know would have had the same fantasy. In fact, this actually happened in a comic book where they showed Harley's fantasy, where they're married and they're watching TV and they've got kids running around, but they're still Harley and the Joker. So the kids are little Joker Harleys and they're playing with guns and knives and she's bringing him food and I just want a domestic life, but I still want to be batshit insane. But yeah, it's that there are some really heartbreaking moments with Harley that I liked. My biggest issue with this movie, and they do it like 3 times back to back. Oh my god, that character is dead. But no, they're not. At one point, the Joker rescues Harley, and Amanda Waller is like, Deadshot, shoot that bitch! And he's like, okay, and shoots, and Harley's like, oh no, I'm dead. And you're like, no, she's not dead. Like 3 minutes later, Joker and Harley are in a helicopter to get shot down. Harley jumps out, and the helicopter crashes off screen. And they're like, oh, they killed the Joker. Yeah. I'm sure they did.
What was the third time?
Trying to remember. Oh, Amanda Waller's fucking shit crashes.
Oh.
And the people are like, she's down. She's down. Like, no, don't do, like, that's the thing. Predictable.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Every time it crashed, I'm like, oh, they are dead, but like out of it, yeah, no one survives a crash like that, I feel like.
There was a really cool moment. So Amanda Waller is kidnapped by Enchantress, who's making this massive machine that can like lightning bolt anywhere on the world that she wants. And she knows where to attack because she's like got this tentacle hooked into her brain because she's got top secret clearance. And she knows where all of the bases and things are. And they, at the end, when everything's good, out of nowhere, she shows back up. And Will Smith's like, how are you still alive? Which is a nice moment. So, as far as the plot being predictable, I'm okay with that. It's a very old story. There's a really good movie from the 70s with Lee Marvin called Dirty Dozen, which is the origin of like Suicide Squad in general. That movie is a World War II movie about a bunch of military prisoners who, for whatever reason, have been incarcerated for gambling too much or for trying to run away, going AWOL. And they're given a chance to go on this suicide mission.
Wait, didn't we see a preview for that?
Not today.
What was the cowboy movie?
That's the Magnificent Seven.
Oh.
Which is all, again,
I got
like,
my numbers confused.
the idea of a squad doing a thing is not new, but the Dirty Dozen's about that. It's about a bunch of people who are going to, you know, and they become heroic when the chips are down, kind of a thing. So that's fine. My issue is the little details of like, oh, we're a half hour in. Let's have a really boring action sequence. Oh, we're 2/3 in. We rescued, like, the plot of the movie is the Suicide Squad is being brought into Midtown, Mid-City, whatever, into this city to extract somebody very important. Because a bad guy has arisen and no one can take him down but the Suicide Squad. 2/3 of the way in, they find the person they're going to rescue and turns out it's Amanda Waller. And then the movie's over. Like, it's this really awkward dead spot where it's like, now what are we going to do? I hate that in movies where it's like, just fucking get to the next thing, which is the scene in the bar, which is my favorite scene in the movie. So there's an episode of Batman the Animated Series, considered one of the best by a lot of people. I think it's called How I Killed Batman, or How I Almost Killed Batman. And the whole episode is the Joker, Harley Quinn, Killer Croc, the Penguin, and I think maybe Catwoman. They're all sitting around playing poker, talking about like how I almost killed Batman, and they're each trying to one-up each other's stories. I like it when characters, particularly bad guys, sit around and just talk. Like, the burdens of the plot are gone and we just see them interacting. And there's a scene in a bar where, like, it's revealed that this is all Amanda Waller's fault. The Enchantress, the bad guy, she's the one who created it. So all the Suicide Squad people are like, fuck this, let's get drunk and encourage the end of the world. And then they just sit there and have a conversation about the nature of morality and are we good people, which is when everybody collectively falls in love with Diablo. Mm-hmm. You want to tell them what happened? We know he turned himself in at the beginning. We see all everybody's backstory. Batman got 2 of them. But Diablo turned himself in because...
Yeah, because basically he killed his wife and his 2 kids. Mm-hmm. And, like, because she was going to leave him, which makes sense.
And
like,
he can't control his temper.
Yeah, and so, like, the whole house gets burned down. And so, like, you see him holding his wife. And
she, like, evaporates.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, God, what did I do? And then it just cuts back to the bar scene. And then everyone's like, oh, yeah, the kids are gone, too.
Everyone looks really, like, just sad and thoughtful. Particularly Floyd.
I think it was Harley.
Because Floyd has a kid. And then one of the characters, the dumb funny guy, Captain Boomerang, who I liked. He was good levity.
No, he was so useless.
He was, but he made a good Joker, too. He goes, wait, what about the kids? And Harley's like...
Yeah.
They died.
Yeah.
And then there's a really great Harley moment where, like, you know, Diablo, the whole movie doesn't want to use his powers. He feels guilty. And he's like, I can never get over that, and I'm just a broken man. And Harley's like, yeah, you killed the kids. Yeah. Own that shit. You are who you are. We are who we are.
But, yeah, he's so torn up about it. I mean, he would, like, he was, like, in this little pipe, you know, that he was just confined there.
Yeah, in a water tank.
He was still in jail. And, he was just like, no, I'm a monster, and, like, I'm not going out there. Like, I refuse to do all of this. So I thought that brought a really nice balance to it. Because basically, and it's really fucked up, the fact that all of these cops are using them to send them in to do this shit.
Yeah, well, they're expendable, and if something goes wrong, they can lay the blame on them.
Which is...
And like I said, I mean, that's not a heavy theme in the movie. It's just kind of like, they just kind of say it up front.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's a thoughtful premise. It's more thoughtful than, like, our moms have the same name, so now we're friends. Which is Batman vs. Superman.
I was like, what the hell? Hey, I have a random question.
Yes.
What happened to Boomerang's, he kept picking up this stuffed animal.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck was that?
So at the beginning, when I'm reading all the characters, the first hour or so is structured really fun. It's a lot of flash forwards, flashbacks, jumping around, cool editing, visual effect things where things look like neon. And we get, like, they're like, and this guy is Boomerang, and it, like, freeze frames, and the stats pop on the screen, and it's like, Captain Boomerang, this many robberies, good with a knife, blah, 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 and then it also says fetish pink unicorns.
Oh.
So the whole movie, Captain Boomerang carries around a pink unicorn, which, it's stupid, but, like, our audience laughed every time that thing showed up. So, and the best joke in the movie actually was the best laugh in the movie. I think was Captain Boomerang. They're all in the bar. The good guy who's leading the mission, this Colonel Flag or Captain Flag, he's in love with the woman who is now the Enchantress. And when shit goes bad, he has to convince them, like, look, I don't give a shit about you guys or what you've done wrong. I just want to save the woman I love. And he smashes this device which is controlling the explosive. It's like, you guys are free, but like, please help me. And Boomerang is fucking gone immediately. It's like, I don't give a shit about you or your life. He just fucking runs off. And then, Will Smith is like, all right, I'll do this because the world is going to know, my daughter is going to know that her dad is not a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Which I liked.
He had a nice little redemption story.
Which that line, like, her dad's going to know that I'm not a piece of shit. The whole theme of, like, just because you're bad doesn't mean you're necessarily, completely horrible all the time. It goes back into DC stealing shit from Marvel. So obviously this whole thing is they're trying to ape the Avengers strategy. This movie is full-on Guardians of the Galaxy, but DC style. A bunch of misfits. In Guardians of the Galaxy, some of them are bad. No, they're all bad. Same thing. And they're all just fucking losers. Yeah. They're just terrible people. And there's lines where it's like, there's a big, well, I don't want to spoil it. She hasn't seen Guardians yet. But same kind of thing, where it's like, they're going to know we're not worthless. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not like it's a big heroic thing. It's like, I just want someone not to think of me as a shithead. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think. The action, like, I want to talk about the action being good, and it really just, it's serviceable. It felt a lot like a video game. Like, none of it was interesting or fun to me.
Harley Quinn had some cool moments where she, like, ran up the side of a wall and, like, did a backflip.
I mean, they're individual
bumped
snippets.
The guy.
What'd you think of the elevator scene? That was Harley's big moment.
When she got in the elevator?
Yeah, because she takes out, like, 5 guys by herself, and she's texting the Joker. Which I will admit, that was funny, the idea of Harley and Joker texting each other. I'm like, alright, that tracks. That totally, like, there should have been more emojis and shit, but, like, okay. But yeah, there's a moment where they're in a building and they have to go up, and Harley just by herself gets in an elevator. And it's like, it's clearly her big Harley scene to just, like, kick ass by herself.
Yeah.
And I was like, fucking, this is boring.
I don't even remember. It didn't stick out to me.
Not memorable. And then the doors open and everyone's there like, let's help her. And she's like, what? Come on, guys. Harley does have a great moment near the end where Enchantress is kicking everybody's ass. And by the way, super long, protracted battle with CGI with everybody trying to fight Enchantress and she's kicking their asses. And at the end, she goes, enough, and just, like, slaps all the weapons out of their hand with magic. And I'm like, why didn't you do this shit 5 minutes ago? Frustrating. But she's like, this is your last chance. You've earned my respect anyway because you're good fighters. Join me. You should be on my side anyway. And Harley's like, I'm not much of a joiner, but why shouldn't we? And Will Smith's like, Harley, she's gonna end the world. Who gives a shit about the world? Everyone never liked us anyway. And Harley goes up and, like, you can bring back the Joker for me, right? And she's like, anything you want. And then there's the sword. And Harley's like, there's one little problem. You hurt my friends? You attacked my friends? Something like that.
No clue.
You something my friends. And she cuts the bitch's heart and rips the thing out. The idea of, like, they've become a unit and Harley is like, that's my people now. Mm-hmm. That worked really well. What didn't work so well was at the end when Diablo sacrifices himself and gets all badass. He says to her, like, I lost my last family. I lost my first family. I'm not going to let you take this one. And I'm like, they're not your family. They're 5 assholes you got drunk with in a bar
I
once.
guess that's some quick bonding they're trying to
I guess.
Because if they all think they're shitheads, like, they're all shitheads together, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, I mean, that's most of the stuff. Like, I wish I could be more... Similar to Ghostbusters, it's like a movie happened. There's more good stuff in this than there is Ghostbusters. There's more things I hated in this than there is Ghostbusters. But essentially, it's like, it's a movie. If you like these characters, if you like these actors, everyone's really good in it. Even Jared Leto's good. The character's awful, but if you go see it. The last thing to talk about, I guess, is the Batman of it all. He is in the movie, and once again, they're using Batman better than most films have. Like, just visually, the way he moves, like, Amanda Waller's narrating, like, so there's this guy, a Deadshot, and blah, 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 and we've got him. And somebody asks her, oh, so you arrested him? And she's like, not me. I just made a call to the right person in Gotham. And Deadshot's walking down an alley with his daughter, talking, and from behind them, you just see the fucking wings, and Batman lands, and he's like, oh, so fucking cool. There's a moment where our theater laughed really hard where Batman punches Harley in the face. When they're underwater.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that. Because he saves her.
Yeah, the Joker and Harley crash off of a bridge to get away from Batman. And Harley's like, Joker, I can't swim! And she crashes through the windshield, and the car is sinking, and the Joker's gone, and Batman swims down to capture them. And it looks like Harley's fucking dead, and then she wakes up and tries to fucking cut his throat. Yeah. And Batman just punches her in the face.
Yeah.
And knocks her out. And then he drags her back upstairs and checks her pulse and gives her mouth to mouth, but she makes out with him because she's fucked up.
Yep.
I appreciate that. I will, just this occurred to me now. There's a guard, a really asshole, sadistic guard who's really mean to Harley. And when she gets set free, like the Joker gets to the guard and gives him a phone to give to Harley. And he gives to her, and he's like, hey, this is from Mr. J. You're going to be good to me when you get out, right? And she's like, oh, you were in so much trouble. They never tagged that up. Maybe we didn't stay to the very, very, very end of the credits.
By the way, that's Ian, what's his face? Ian Holmeritz. You know him?
Nope.
He's really funny. He's in the Mindy Project.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't stay to the very, very end of the credits. Maybe the very last scene is the Joker and Harley catching that guy. But they set up this thing and didn't pay it off.
Maybe he's going to turn into a bad guy in the next movie.
It's always possible. The Joker uses a lot of guns, which, I mean, whatever, that's fine. It's just like, there's no fun, no joy buzzers, no poison, no flour that sprays acid. He just shoots people in the head.
This isn't a movie about the Joker, and I don't even understand why he was there to begin with.
Because they're laying the pipe for the next movie. Which we will talk about that. They are interconnected. Batman's in it, of course. They make reference to the fact that, like, the world changed when Superman appeared, and then it changed again when he left. So this takes place after BVS, and it's like, fuck, like, he's dead now. We got lucky that he was on our side. What are we going to do if the next superhero is a bad guy? That's why she makes Suicide Squad. At the end, Bruce Wayne has bribed Amanda Waller for some information, and it's a file containing all of the backstory, all of the information they have on the metahuman. So it's, Aquaman, the Flash, Enchantress is in there. So clearly, like, he's going to use that information in Justice League to try and track them all down. That's the connection there. Why the Joker's in this movie? Because
Harley's backstory.
Well, not even Harley's backstory. I'm going to be really, I'm going to be this guy. It's because Harley is a female character, and they couldn't just have her be in a movie by herself.
Oh, bullshit.
It's true.
No way.
Everyone knows who Harley is. They could have just let it be in there and made dialogue references to her with the Joker and stuff like that. But I think they had to have it in the context of, like, oh, she's the Joker's girlfriend. In fact, if you ask most people who is Harley Quinn, they're going to say she's the Joker's girlfriend, right? Not she is her own person.
Maybe.
That's my thinking. And she kind of works that way in the story. She kind of works that way in the story most of the time anyway. Like, she's essentially a prop for the third act reveal where the Joker shows up and fucks things up. Like, the Joker is the one who causes the third act to happen by shooting down Amanda Waller's helicopter. So, like, she's only in the movie because A, they wanted to use the character for the first time, and B, they're trying to set up Joker for the next Batman movie. But also because they needed the Joker to come in and do a thing. Like, once he dies, that's when she finally becomes a really true character because she's lost the one thing. And I admit that's interesting. The idea of, like, I wish they delved deeper into that. The idea of if you're in an abusive relationship and you're totally devoted to somebody and that person's suddenly gone, what do you do next? And, like, Harley is the hero in as much as she kills the bad guy and she keeps leading the charge. But it's only because she has nothing better to do. Like, she has nothing. Like, fuck it. Like, why not? My Joker's gone. I don't care. And there's something really heartbroken about that. There's a lot of moments like that in the movie where it's like, I get that they're trying to do an ensemble piece, and they did a fairly good job of explaining everybody, but I almost wish it was a miniseries or a longer movie or something, because all the characters, I think, deserved a little bit more screen time. Particularly if, spoilers, Diablo dies at the end. I want more with that character. Fuck it. I liked the movie. I liked how it opened. I liked how it ended. Rach?
It was okay.
Yeah?
Solid B.
B. It passed for me. I just see. If I had to do like the 1 out of 10 ranking, I would say it's like a 6. Maybe 6 out of 10.
I'd give it a 7.5.
Yeah, fair enough. And I mean, that's the other part of it. If you are somebody who just enjoys like fun, explosive movies, there's plenty of that in here. There's some good dialogue. You are rooting for the characters. Like, I never stopped giving a shit about the characters. Stopped giving a shit about the movie at a certain point. I was like, fucking, let's go. But I actually did care about pretty much all the characters. There are some fun twists and turns along the way. Some of them predictable, some not. And it ends with the Joker breaking Harley out, and even though I don't like the Joker very much, I do like the idea that they're out there causing chaos now. Yeah. Which there's going to be a solo Batman movie. They've announced that Bruce, Ben Affleck is going to write and direct it, which, yay, he makes good movies. But we don't know if it's going to be a prequel, because there's the Robin suit in BVS, so we know the Joker killed one of the Robins. We don't know if it's going to be that story or what it's going to be. Based on this, it might be Batman's trying to recapture the Joker and Harley because they've escaped.
Yeah, maybe.
So whatever it is, that's how I'll finish up my final thoughts. Man of Steel was a really boring, negative, dark movie. BVS was even worse, but with glimmers of like, this is pretty cool, particularly Wonder Woman. Suicide Squad is a big step up. Huge step up from Batman vs. Superman. If they continue in this trend and Wonder Woman is really good and Justice League is really good, I have no problem assuming that there could be some really bitchin' DC movies coming soon. So if you're a completionist, see it to see what happens with all your favorite DC characters. If you're curious, see it. And if you want to watch hot chicks shoot people in the face, there's plenty of that in this movie. Anything else for you?
Nope.
All right, so that's our thoughts on Batman, Suicide Squad, which I hope gets a sequel or something. All the characters are good. Deadshot, standalone movie for the win. And we'll see you next time talking about something else.
Adios.
Bye. It's a tired puppy.
She must have just woken up.
Let somebody in this house get to sleep. Yeah, I'm talking about you. I think I'm actually going to not have any alcohol during this video.
Okay. He'll be right back. It's okay. Energy drink. I guess you're going to Jerry's.
Yeah. Who needs sleep?
I'm like, it's almost 10.
Yes, it is almost 10. A shirt and frame. Can you tell it's a Batman shirt? It's probably fine.